Chapter 8, 1988 to 1993. Despite having a fairly normal nuclear family, I am quite the misfit in school. People at school don't like me much more than I like me. I'm always picked last for team activities, and a sinking feeling in my stomach would hit with the begrudging, oh, I get her looks that others had when I was the only option left. I have a few friends, but despite this, I feel as if I am just lingering on the outskirts of their circle. I am not particularly skilled at hopscotch or dodgeball for that matter, and I sulk or walk off when I can get away with it. I cry over minor bullying, which opens me up for even more criticism. Other kids snicker and call me a crybaby. The adults refer to me as overly sensitive. I try so hard not to cry, but the tears still roll down my cheeks. Others cringe at my awkwardness and an annoyance, but I have no idea how to stop crying when people get under my skin. In those early years, I just wanted to fit in, and for 20 more years, that part of me never really changes. Seeking acceptance from others is a lifelong struggle. The constant sense of rejection impacts my self-esteem and self-confidence. Makes me feel like just a person wandering around with a purposeless existence. I enjoy a few good memories of my early life in school or with friends. Most things I do remember stir up a little sadness. I know I surely had some good times, but none memorable enough to counteract the aching pain of loneliness. The older I get, the vaguer the past becomes. For second grade, I end up in Miss Branson's class. Other kids tell me how mean she is. This doesn't scare me, though. Miss Branson appears motherly, slightly overweight, and has a big smile like the Cheshire Cat. She comes across as tough, but she really only yells if students get out of line. Her long brown hair is kept pulled back into a ponytail that swings when she turns to the blackboard. My first day in Miss Branson's class, and I know I'm going to really enjoy it. She has a way of commanding the attention of her students. I find that second grade can be hard as we learn about math and counting to 1,000. We are encouraged to read. I develop a love for reading because she always has us reading something really good in class. Currently, she has been reading Charlotte's Web by E.B. White to us. It is a story about a spider and a pig who become friends. Spiders are creepy and gross, and so are pigs. I guess that's why they were friends. I know that the spider dies and the pig gets sad and cries. But I am glad that they were friends. After our story time every day, we go to afternoon recess. My favorite thing to do during recess this year is to sit in the playground tunnels. There are several of them that vary in size. Some are 6 feet long and some are 4 feet long, and both are 3 feet in height. There are 3 different colors: pink, blue, and brown. I picked the brown one to go sit in during recess. Victoria has become a friend, and sometimes we tell each other secrets in these tunnels. Today we just decide to yell one another's names and listen to the echoing sound that makes. I lay down in the tunnel and stare at the top of it. Someone has etched their name into it, maybe one of the older kids in 4th or 5th grade. I stare at the top of the tunnel and daydream. I feel weightless, like I'm floating away from the world around me. The tunnel is cold and hard below me, and that is the only real sensation I notice. I feel like a stranger in this world, like I don't quite belong here. The daydreaming comes to an end when I hear a high-pitched whistle, signaling that recess is over. As I walk home from the bus stop after school, I see my brother Colin sitting outside playing. He wears his favorite little cowboy boots with shorts. His thick curly hair blows in the breeze. Approaching the yard where he is playing with his dirt and singing to himself, I notice that he is sitting in the middle of a giant mound of ants, but not one single one of them is biting him. I open the sliding door that we use as our front door and flop my backpack down into the dining room, thinking what a little weirdo he is. Second grade passes quickly. In the middle of my second grade school year, Mom and Dad buy a house across town and we move there. My new house looks like a scary house out of a horror movie. Third grade comes and goes along with fourth grade. I move on to fifth grade and find that I have Miss Branson again. I am elated at this news because I really loved her teaching. Fifth grade also means I can compete in the spelling bee. I hate poor spelling and quite enjoy knowing how to properly spell hard words. It is one thing I am good at, and that makes me so proud. In our first quarter, we read Johnny Tremaine, a historical fiction by Esther Forbes. This book is read in conjunction with our class learning about the American Revolution. One assignment Ms. Branson gave us was taken right from this book. Johnny Tremaine is a silversmith and injures his hand in molten silver and can no longer practice this trade and has to look for a new trade. Our class had to tape our left hand and then attempt to go through part of our day with our disabled hand. At first, it's kind of fun trying to write with my hand taped. I'm right-handed, so this seems like no big deal. But lunch is a bit more challenging. I need both of my hands to eat. I finally just grab my burger with my right hand. At recess, I find that it's really hard to swing with my temporarily disabled hand. I can't play tetherball with only one hand either. I just talk with my friends and we talk about our matching disabled hands. Finally, we hear the whistle, signaling that it's time to return to class. We hear some good news after we all arrive back in the classroom. We have permission to remove the taped up mess on our hands. I peel mine off slowly. There is a buildup of sticky sweat underneath the tape. My hand is wrinkled like it gets when I get out of the swimming pool after being in it for a long time. It is slightly chilled from the air, from the classroom fan giving us a cool breeze. We are asked to reflect on how it felt to be unable to use that hand for the short amount of time that it was taped up. Not having a hand really would be an inconvenience. I was lucky because it was my left hand that was taped up. The other students in my class who were left-handed really faced a challenge with this. By the end of the day, we have completely forgotten about our temporary disabilities, and the day draws to a close. And that's it for Chapter 8. Stay tuned for Chapter 9.